Welcome to Wellman, Iowa. I'm Dan Wilson along with Alec Giannakopoulos. Last Golden Hawk regular season game of the season. Mid-Prairie Hawks are facing the Mediapolis Bulldogs, two 6-2 teams fighting for that number 3 spot in the playoffs. Alec, what do you expect to see here today?
Well, one thing I expect to see is a very close game. In the last 3 games as these teams have had, they've been decided by a combined 3 points. So a very close competition recently. Mediapolis is a program that's been building up in the last few years. They have been 49-7 since 2011. So a rising program takes on a Golden Hawks team that's had a pretty good year. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, Mediapolis coming in hot. They've won 4 in a row. Mid-Prairie, on the other hand, they lost 2 in a row before last week when they had a rough first half and then exploded in the second half behind the rushing of Ricky Vargas. And, two evenly matched teams. Both have very strong offenses. Mid-Prairie can run the football and pass. We've seen Cordham go off. The Bulldogs, same. A lot of rushers, good quarterback, and 2 strong defenses. 15 turnovers for the Golden Hawks, 16 for the Bulldogs. And, what's going to be the story today on offensive side of the ball?
Well, a big factor for the Bulldogs, Arthur Brown. You look at a guy who is a Swiss Army knife on offense. He has from 150 attempts, he has 1,131 yards with 11 touchdowns. Not only that, but he has earned 596 on the ground and also has himself an interception. So he is a all-around just huge aspect to this team, and you can expect him to not only get a lot of touches in the air, but also take it on the ground. So it's going to be interesting to see how what's been a pretty well-versed Golden Hawks defense handles such a dual threat that we see in Arthur Brown.
Yeah, Arthur Brown, their leading rusher, 596 yards, as you said, and they've got 4 other guys that could also rush the football. Mason Buster, he's got 391. Josh Osborne, 138. Levi Eberhard, 199. Jared Lacey, 169. Just guys all down the line that could run the football, but same thing on the Mid-Prairie side. Ricky Vargas, 900 yards this season off 114 carries, 11 touchdowns. Then Nolan Fasolt, 90 for 515. And then you got Carson and Keaton Dua also able to hold the football.
Yeah, we've talked about the depth that the Golden Hawks have at the halfback position, and you can definitely expect a lot of use and a lot of movement from the 3 or 4 guys there. At the same time, though, you do mention the strength that you see coming from the Bulldogs on the ground. Well, this is a defense in the Golden Hawks that allows, on average, 258 yards per game, and we've seen them really plug up the trenches often, so they're a defense that can really limit anyone's run game.
So here's a short kick to start off the game. That's Blake Schwartz receiving it, and he's going to meet some traffic at around the 35-yard line, and they're going to blow this play dead. So we talked about how each of these teams could run the football on a night like tonight. Ball's wet. We saw somebody slip in the pregame. A kicker went to kick the football. Feet went right under him, so slippery ground. So slippery football running might be the way to go tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned it. With the ball being wet, with difficulty in running routes, you may want to favor a ground game. And we mentioned it earlier. Both teams have definitely proven their worth on the ground. So expect a very high and a very competitive game when it comes to both areas in rushing.
So Cordham now under center, a full backfield, and he's going to hand this one off to Fasolt, who's looking for some blocks and not much there. Another thing we talked about was both of these teams having very good defenses and running the football tonight. One thing the Golden Hawks are going to have to look out for is they're going to have to hold on to the football, as the Bulldogs have forced 9 fumbles this season, and their only defensive touchdown is coming off of one of those fumble recoveries.
Yeah, you mentioned they have 9 turnovers, but have only gone to the end zone directly off of 1. But nonetheless, if you can be able to squeeze the ball out, especially in wet conditions, definitely favors your defense.
So Cordham, a pitch to Faisal to the right side. He makes a move, staying on his feet. Couple-yard pickup on that one.
So 2 very similar calls to open up this drive, both wide-out pitches to Faisal. And he's a guy to me who seems to make his bread and butter more up in the middle. So interesting calls. We'll see what they do now on a difficult 3rd and 7 situation.
So back to the line are the Golden Hawks, staying in that same bunched formation. Hawbaker out to the left. Faisal still the main back. And we got a flag. Looks like this one will be offsides. And yeah, that's going to be 5+ for the Golden Hawks and offsides on the Mediapolis Bulldogs.
Now, earlier in the season, when you see a flag at the snap, for those who've been watching the Bulldogs, you expect it to be a false start. This is a team that has had trouble at the line, especially with penalties. So very good to see them on the receiving end of a penalty.
So 10:30 here left in the first quarter, very early. Cordham back under center on this first drive, and this one, that looks like Carson Dua getting the carry.
We'll see if it's a very similar call.
And it's going to be against the Bulldogs, and that was already close to a first down run, so that's going to move the chains.
And that's difficult because you just stopped a very good ground team in 3 straight downs, and then you give them a whole fresh shot. That's got to be very difficult for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, 2 very costly penalties to start this ball game, and now Golden Hawks able to move the chains here on the first drive, trying to get something going on this soggy field. Cordham back under center, shorts to his left, but it doesn't matter. Faisal gets it again, and no gain on that play.
So Faisal's been the one who's gotten every rushing gain so far today. Got to be a matter of time until we see Vargas out there.
Yeah, Vargas last week, heading into halftime, Golden Hawks down 14-0, and then Vargas in the second half just exploded. 3 touchdowns, really put the team on his back and gave them the spark they needed to break that losing streak. So now we got Schwartz to the right, Jacoby to the left for Cordham. Schwartz in motion. And they're going to fake the handoff to Schwartz and give it to Faisal again up the middle for a nice gain around 5.
And we'll see how long Kavanaugh wants Faisal out there. A great gain there, kind of erasing the last few small to little gains. So going well for him at this time.
Taryn Jacoby coming off. Paul Hawbaker checking in for the Golden Hawks. Hawbaker will set up on the left side of court, and Schwartz staying to his right. 3rd and 5 with 8:50 on the clock. And Hawbaker in motion now. And Mid-Prairie is going to take a timeout here early in the first quarter. So while they take a break, we're going to take one too and be back with this last regular season football game for your Mid-Prairie Golden Hawks. Welcome back to Wellman, Iowa for this first quarter action brought to you by Hills Bank and Trust Company and Yachty's Hardware. We have the Golden Hawks heading to the line now, 3rd and 5 with 8:40 here in the first quarter. This is the first Golden Hawk drive of the football game. And here's a sweep to Faisal to the left side. Skips a couple tacklers, but he's brought down right at the 50-yard line.
Man, a great job by the Bulldogs, and have not bidden on the sweep just yet. I think we've seen 3 out to Faisal sweeps, both to left and right. And either way, they're a very quick and mobilizing team that can get to their man quickly. And I don't know if that sweep to Faisal is going to work for the remainder of this ball game.
Yeah, tonight's game is definitely going to be won on the offensive and defensive line. Whoever gets that push, it is going to be hard to throw the ball. So Dua back to punt now for the Golden Hawks, and number 20 to receive. That's Mason Buster, the big running back for the Bulldogs. He's going to let this one bounce before taking it up. At the 15, brought down at the 20. Some nice coverage there for the Golden Hawks.
He has some good coverage, and I don't really think Buster got any footing there, too. Again, it's going to be very difficult to see anyone really be able to get fully comfortable out there when they're slipping and sliding like they are tonight.
So now here comes the big, high-powered offense for the Bulldogs, led by Arthur Brown. And Brown has just had a phenomenal season passing and rushing. Probably see him run the ball more here early today. The field's still really wet. Maybe later on in the game, crunch time, we'll see him pass the ball.
Yeah, he has some great numbers in the air, but a thing to keep in mind, with those 11 touchdowns, he has 10 interceptions.
And here's the first handoff. That's to Mason Buster, and he's stuffed right away, but a flag will fly in at the end of that play.
So very similar entire offensive strategies on both sides. Keeping on the ground and at the same time, very similar defenses, as that's going to be another play that just kind of dies at the line of scrimmage before the flag.
And that was actually Josh Osborne on the carry. Osborne this year, 46 carries for 138 yards, a couple of touchdowns. But this one's going to be backed up.
Yeah, chop block there. And the thing is, if you're the Bulldogs, you know how even these teams are so far in the feeling out process. The last thing you really want to do is to help the other team out with what is now their third penalty, only with 7:50 in the first quarter.
So still knotted at 0 here early in the first quarter. This is the first drive for the Bulldogs. And it looks like they're going to pass early here as they've got trips right, twins to the left for Brown. And the man in motion is Buster, and he's going to get the run on a reverse. And he's got some blocks, but not much there. Some nice defense by the Golden Hawks.
Yeah, you know, with first and long and now second and long, we're going to probably eventually see whether on this down or third down, Brown go in the air, unless, of course, they get a big gain on the ground. So we'll see exactly how he can handle the wet conditions.
So a 2nd and 18 now. Backed up are the Bulldogs. Sticking with that same formation. Trips right, twins left, and this time they're passing. And a sack. That's Levi Dua coming off the left side, taking him down, and he's going to back him up even more.
Oh, man, a huge sack for Levi Dua. And for that's going to be a huge loss of downs. And for Dua, it's going to be his 8th sack on the season.
Yeah, Levi Dua has just been so good coming off that D end, containing everything, putting a nice rush on the quarterback. Really created a lot of turnovers for this defense. So now a big 3rd and 26 and third downs tonight are brought to you by Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company and Wellman Cooperative Telephone Association. And Brown's going to pass this one, a quick screen, and couldn't find his man. He was looking for Josh Osborne on that one. Let him a little too much, and that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Interesting call on the screen. It doesn't seem like the Bulldogs expected to get a first down on that, except to get some real estate and get their punter out of the end zone. But if you're trying to do that, I don't see why you don't just go for a quick slant or maybe a 4 or 5 yard run.
So a 3 and out for the first time out here for the Bulldogs, bringing out Ethan Timmerman, the punter, with Nolan Faisal back to receive. Timmerman gets a nice boot on this one, sending Faisal running back, and a nice little Mid-Prairie bounce, and it's going to be down just in front of the 50-yard line. So some nice field position to set up for the Golden Hawks.
But yeah, honestly, the Bulldogs couldn't expect a better punt there from Timmerman. As you definitely saw, Faisal not expecting that one to go over his head. But what could have been a first down in the 40 or even 35 is now a first at midfield.
So some good field position, and Bulldogs weren't afraid to pass early. They threw it twice, so they were put in a position where they kind of had to. But let's see if the Golden Hawks come out here and try something else. It seemed like they were getting stuffed on a lot of runs. Cordham in the shotgun now for the first time tonight, and he's going to keep this one to himself, loses his footing a little bit, and brought down right around the line.
Yeah, exactly. That on the option, Cordham decided to take, but I think his head was going faster than his legs were because it's getting wet out there, and he had a hard time establishing position to really get more than a yard or two there.
Yeah, that's something we're going to see a lot tonight, is guys losing their footing, and plays that might have been big plays be stopped short because of a foot slip or something of that sort.
Vargas still on the sidelines, and as we mentioned, after a very explosive last game against West Liberty, it's a matter of time until we'll see him out there.
So Cordham back under center, and the handoff to Faisal. Puts his head down, lowers his shoulder, and gets a nice pick up there, maybe 5 yards on the carry.
Yeah, and you saw Faisal, after he hit the ground, kind of slide a bit, and nothing really demonstrates how wet the field is. That really should do it.
So a big third down now, trying to get something here in this first quarter. A 3rd and 4, ball on the 43-yard line, and 5 minutes left to play here in this first quarter. Cordham staying under center. Blake Schwartz out to his left. Faisal still the main back in the backfield, and he's going to get this one. And he's met right away, so another 3rd down stop for the Bulldogs.
And a reminder, with the war on the trenches right now, neither team has earned a first down. We saw the Golden Hawks get one off penalty, but with only 4:45 left in the first quarter, I have not seen a team earn that first down just yet.
So a 4th and 1 here for the Golden Hawks, and it looks like they're going to go for it. This 4th down is brought to you by Hills Bank and Trust Company.
And now we got both Faisal and Vargas out there, so we'll see who they go with on this 4th and 1.
And it's a sweep to Faisal to the left side, looking for some blocks, and he's going to cut it upfield, and he's taken down short of the first down. And now there's a flag at the end of the play, and let's see who this goes against.
Yeah, and that one seemed well after the ball was dead, so there may have been some extracurricular conversation going on, or maybe a late call in general, but I don't like that play call. I think Faisal can get that yard in the trench, but we'll see what the ruling is on the field.
Yeah, I think right there it's easier to just go right up the middle than, going back a couple yards to catch that pitch. And that looks like a personal foul against Mediapolis, so they're going to move the chains for Mid-Prairie once again. Last drive, it was 2 penalties that kept the drive alive, and now we got another one here.
Man, I'd like the specifics on that, but geez, the team that really is hurting themselves.
And looks like it's actually going to be Mediapolis ball.
Yeah, convenient scenario out there is.
Yeah, I think what happened with guys was a dead ball foul after the play was over, so it was Mediapolis ball.
So actually that was a dead ball foul after the play had ended, so Mediapolis will get the ball. And the yards were just tacked onto their drive, against their drive, I should say. So a 1st and 10 for the 25 now, and now this play will be blown dead before it started.
Man, already there's been 5 flags that found the field so far, and we still only have 4 minutes left in this first quarter, so very start and stop action so far.
And this is going to be a false start against the offense, pushing them back 5 more yards. So a lot of penalties early on for the Bulldogs.
A very similar possession to their last possession, in which they were looking at along the lines of a 2nd and 20. So with the penalties that sure aren't helping their cause, it's going to be even more difficult for Brown.
So Brown's going to get this one in a quick screen to his left, and met immediately by Nolan Faisal, taking down. Some nice coverage there.
Yeah, Brown took a little bit too long in the pocket, really, to take advantage of the surprise aspect of the screen, and good job by Faisal to sniff that out.
So now a 2nd and 12, and really no good field position so far for the Bulldogs. They've been backed up near their own end zone all day. And Brown is going to stay in the shotgun here. He's got trips to his right, one to his left. And this one's going to go a fake to Mason Buster and a sack. That was Levi Dua again, his 2nd sack of the day, and another big one.
Yeah, Dewar is having a great time up in the trenches, doing a good job on the blitz, and really just beelining it for Brown. Again, his 2nd sack on a guy who is very quick, giving him no time to think about scrambling. 2 really quick sacks so far.
Yeah, just breaking right through that line. What we said, this game is going to be won whoever gets the push, and so far on the defensive side of the ball, it's been Mid-Prairie. So a 3rd and long now, 3rd and 17. Brown looking to pass, and he's going to air this one out over the head and off the hand of number 6, Josh Osborne, bringing up a 4th down and long now.
Yeah, and Osborne was open, but you can definitely tell that Brown was feeling the pressure and just kind of had to get one off there. So if he had a little more time in the pocket, wasn't collapsing around him, that could have been a very easy completion and possible first down.
So a 4th and 17 now with 3 minutes left here in the first quarter. Looks like it's going to be some more favorable position for the Golden Hawks after this punt. And now we've got a flag before we're able to get the punt off.
And with what it looks like to be going against the Bulldogs, it's just been very difficult for them to really get comfortable before another flag hits the field.
Yeah, we've been seeing the Bulldogs back up all day, whether they're on offense or defense. They've been going the wrong way. And so now a 4th and 22 here.
Man.
And we got Faisal and Hawbaker back to receive for Mid-Prairie.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Kavanaugh really wants to take advantage of the field position he's going to get here after going with the 3 and out with the ball at midfield.
And there's a very nice punt to Faisal, and he drops it. This one rolls back to the 25. He picks it up around there, gets a couple blocks, and tries to make some moves. And he breaks some tackles there. Nice return for what looked very ugly at first. Gets back to about the 35, but lost some yards on the bobble.
Yeah, you saw Faisal there trying to make up for the bobble he had. As 2 times he's been fooled by these Timmerman punts. He does not expect them to go over his head. He's comfortable out there in midfield, but again, both times Timmerman's gotten all of it. And what could be a very, very vulnerable starting position around the 45 or 35, both times the Golden Hawks have had to start in their own territory.
Yeah, big leg on Timmerman, the 6'2", 220 senior for the Bulldogs. And here's a handoff to Faisal right up the middle and met right away again by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and the Faisal ground game has not been working so far. We've seen them try several sweeps and several runs up the gut. And he's at most gotten at one time 5, a very uncharacteristic first quarter for him.
And what we haven't seen much from the Golden Hawks yet is, a little mix of how they're setting up the offense. Pretty much in the same formation every time they go out there. Been a little one-dimensional so far. Let's see if they can switch things up as we approach 2 minutes in the first quarter. Brought to you by Hills Bank and Trust Company. And we have a flag here again, and this one's going to be against the Golden Hawks.
Yeah, not making their scenario any more helpful. Is this going to push them back for a 2nd and long? And it really is only a matter of time until we see Kavanaugh try to go through the air, as it's just not been working on the ground. So we'll see if he takes the gamble eventually, understands the weather conditions, but at the same time trust his QB and see what he can do.
So Cordham under center, Schwartz to his right, and Hawbaker to his left. Faisal still the main back there. And it's a delayed draw to Faisal, who's met right again. Taken down, gain of 2 at the most, bringing up a 4th and long for the Golden Hawks.
Yeah, and Faisal came into tonight's action with very good numbers, and it's very uncharacteristic to see him as frustrated as he is right now. He comes in with 515 yards on the ground with the season, but so far he's been pretty stymied.
Excuse me, that'll bring up a 3rd down, 3rd and 11 now. With about 1 minute left here to play.
Tough option. I think you have to try the air and just see what Cordham has for you here.
So Cordham looking to pass, and he's going to find Schwartz at around the 40, makes a move, and now he's trying to get that edge, but he can't get out there, and he's taken down well short of the 1st down.
Yeah, Schwartz trying to do a ton up the middle, and he needs a little bit better blocking if he wants to try and go all the way to the sideline, but nonetheless, great effort from him.
Yeah, and it was nice to see them at least pass the ball once, get Cordham's arm warmed up a little bit. Nice completion there, but a 4th and 7 for the Golden Hawks.
So again, the Golden Hawks have had their defense get a few sacks, been able to push that Bulldog offense deep in their own territory, but they have not been able to capitalize off of the fielding position.
So Dua now boots this one back. A nice punt fielded by Mason Buster, and he steps over a couple tacklers before he's met around the 45-yard line. A nice, solid return for Buster.
Yeah, great return there, and it's been a while since we've seen the Bulldogs get the ball out of the end zone, so we'll see what they can do with pretty favorable positioning.
So a 0-0 ball game still. Neither offense has really moved the ball for themselves. Mid-Prairie has moved it down a little bit, but that was with a lot of help from the Bulldogs' defense and some penalties. Yeah, so really nothing much so far. 13 seconds left here to play in the first quarter. Still a 0-0 game.
And both teams we've talked about almost identical. They both have the same losses in conference to Central Lee and Williamsburg. So teams with absolutely identical conference schedules and a very similar play style.
So Brown hands this one off, and nothing doing there. Some nice tackling by the Golden Hawks, and it looks like that play would have wound down the first quarter. Now we got a flag here, so the clock is going to stop.
So it would appear to be, it looked to me similar to an offside, either that or encroachment on Mid-Prairie. And we won't end the quarter just yet.
And now the clock is winding down.
And now we're in the quarter.
And so that's the way this first quarter is going to end. A 0-0 ball game. Nothing happening on either side of the ball so far. We're going to take a break and come back with some second half action for Alec Giannakopoulos. I'm Dan Wilson. See you after this.
And as always, our first half of Mid-Prairie action brought to you in part by Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company and Wellman Cooperative Telephone Association. We last left you with a very even first quarter, 0-0 of course the score, as we'll see a quick pitch from Brown, and that'll get a little bit of yards, and it'll be down around the line of scrimmage.
Levi Dua doing a nice job not letting that turn into anything too big as he came up from behind and made a nice tackle.
As you mentioned, the screen's not working.
Yeah, neither team has really taken a shot downfield so far. We saw the Bulldogs do it when they were in a 4th and long situation. But pretty much all screens in terms of passing so far tonight.
So once again, we see Brown in the shotgun. 2 to his left. He'll drop back. Feel a little pressure off his back foot. A high reception is brought down, but again, not a ton of real estate earned on that second down completion.
Yeah, that was a nice catch by Dalton Carlson, but really nothing doing to move these chains. Still a 3rd and 9 after the completion, and they really haven't been close to a first down at all today.
So the air attack gets the Bulldogs 1 yard, and that will force the punt. Out to receive both Hawbaker and Faisal, but a short punt will be picked up around the 25.
It's time for the Golden Hawks offense to get something going, maybe see some Ricky Vargas action. He's got his helmet out on the sideline, but we haven't seen him yet today.
Yeah, we saw him on the field as an option, but most gains on the ground, save a quick run from Cordham, have been by Faisal, who's been having a very rough time. We've talked about that a little earlier in the first quarter. So the Golden Hawks will start this possession on the 25. 3 back for Cordham. And he'll give it right off. Once again, that one over to Faisal.
Met right away by Levi Eberhardt. One of the key pieces to this Bulldog defense. That's his 16th tackle on the season.
Faisal scrapping together 1 yard, and we'll see Hawbaker come on. And he will come on in place for Jason 2. So very similar game on both ends. Not a lot going on the ground. Very uncharacteristic for both sides as we will see Cordham drop back, and he'll take it himself. And he won't get far. He'll get tackled around the 27-28.
Yeah, that looked like a design draw. I don't think Cordham was really ever thinking about passing that football. Saw a little hole, tried to get through it, and then tripped up right away. So some more short yardage plays on both sides of the ball has been the story so far.
And we'll see a very familiar to both teams 3rd and long. We saw on the previous 3rd and long a quick pass from Cordham. That one didn't get the first down. We'll see what the play call is here. Cordham drops back, feels the pressure over to Faisal.
Nice dump.
And he'll get a big block and go for the first down, and he'll get it, and then some. Faisal has some pay dirt, and he'll get tripped up and continue. It is all Faisal. Touchdown, Golden Hawks.
What a play by Cordum, feeling the pressure, able to just dump it off to Faisal, who gets some nice blocks and then turns on the Jets. But we got a flag here on the play.
Yeah, so put the celebration on hold. Flag on the field as Faisal turns what was a unplanned play into a possible touchdown, but we'll see what the penalty marker is at around the 40.
It looks like a hold.
And it looks like it's going to be a hold that'll take away that big 73-yard touchdown play.
And man, what a shot in the foot for a team that really couldn't get anything going in that first quarter offensively to have to take it all back and try again. That really has to deflate momentum for the Golden Hawks.
And it is holding, and yes, there really hasn't been any big plays so far today, no momentum gainers, and that was certainly one that could have gotten the Golden Hawks going as they're trying to break the 0-0 tie in a game that is very important for both teams shooting for that number 3 spot in the playoffs.
And with that, we will then see Vargas get back out there. And after dealing with a huge gain, the Golden Hawks have to get 5. Rolling out is Cordum. Looks for his man, a deep pass, and Schwartz makes the catch. He has some real estate. He's got one man to beat, and he can't beat him, but there may be a flag. And yes, there is, with the face mask. And just like that, the Golden Hawks have to give up a touchdown, but they will make do with a huge completion out to Schwartz.
A 73-yard touchdown play erased, and then they get most of it back. Didn't get the points, but a lot of the yards, a big chunk. And now even more will be tacked on after that face mask. A huge play, a beautiful pass, and it's nice to see the Golden Hawks not afraid to air it out here.
Yeah, and you saw a very desperate tackle on that face mask, really, because he knew that if he couldn't bring Schwartz down, that's a touchdown. So had to get in the way of him somehow, and it's going to cost his team a chunk of yards. It's going to be 1st and goal. Looking like it, or 1st and 10 on the 10, very close. As Golden Hawks, a team that desperately looked for something on the ground, get it in the air. Cordum's got 3 back. It's to Dua, and the ball goes to Faisal. He won't get much, but he'll get a solid amount on 1st down.
And I'd like to see if they're just going to try and pound it in now or go to a little screen or dump, try and catch them off yards. Or off guard, excuse me.
4-yard gain for Faisal there creates a 2nd and 6 opportunity right near the end zone. Again, great job also by the Golden Hawks to bounce back after giving up a touchdown and a hold and being right back in there. 1 wide, that's Hawbaker. 3 back. And very similar play, but this time to the left. Faisal has some space in front of him. He'll dive in front. And was that enough for a touchdown? It looks like it was.
Some great blocking on by the line on that play. Opened up a huge hole, big enough for Faisal to get right to the line where he just had to put his head down, drop his shoulder, and roll into the end zone.
So it took a quarter and a half, but we finally have something on the scoreboard, and it's in favor of the black and gold. So Faisal earns his touchdown this time after having to lose a huge reception. And the PAT is no good. That one under the crossbar. And the score, Golden Hawks 6, Bulldogs 0 with 8:37 left in the first half. We'll be right back after this quick break on Women Access TV. Golden Hawk football brought to you live on Ustream in part by Hills Bank and Trust Company and Yachty's Hardware. After we saw a huge gain from Faisal, he earned it himself twice And the Golden Hawks found themselves to be the first to draw blood. A missed PAT creates a 6-0 lead for Mid-Prairie.
And let's see if that's a wake-up call now for the Bulldogs offense to get something going.
And the kick is off, and it's a deep one, and really nothing anyone out there, Osborne included, could do but watch it sail in the end zone.
So a touchback, and that's what you like to see from your kicker. Don't even give them a chance to kick it. They're going to start at the 20 now, and against the Mid-Prairie defense, that's not giving up much.
You mentioned it. We'll see if the Bulldogs want to follow suit and see if they can get any deep plays downfield, because everything we've seen has either been a run up the gut, a kind of sweep, or a quick screen or dump pass that hasn't resulted in much.
And if the Bulldogs do start trying to pass, they're going against a good pass defense too, a Mid-Prairie team that has 10 picks, 10 of their 15 turnovers off interceptions this year.
So in the shotgun, that one over to Buster. We'll see what he can do.
A lot of Golden Hawks in on that tackle. Looked like it was led by Jason too.
And my apologies, that was Osborne with the carry. And that picked up just around a short gain on first down. As the ball is right back on the 20, he got nothing. And now we have 4 wide, 2 to Brown's left and right. He'll snap back and he'll feel the pressure immediately. The quick pass is a little bit low.
And that was Carson Dua getting a hand on it. Some nice active hands there.
Not too much Osborne could have done about that one, as that one was well low. Great pressure applied to Brown. So a quick 3rd and 10 as the Bulldogs also look for their first down.
Really surprised Arthur Brown has not really been able to do much tonight. Golden Hawks defense very stout, able to contain anything that they've tried to do.
So Brown rolls right. He sees his man and goes deep. And that one is complete. And just like that, the Bulldogs look poised to get it back. Almost all the way, and diving for the pylon will be Timmerman, Tristan Timmerman, but I think he was just short.
Yeah, and touchdown saving tackle by Hawbaker. Must have got a knee out of bounds right before hitting that pylon. A big play, though, and that's a big momentum shifter. Huge play for the Bulldogs.
So it's really been a mirror of an offensive production for both teams. Two teams that struggled to do anything in the first half. Both really had a hard time getting that first down. And both teams had a huge gain with a pass up midfield. Very similar offensive strategies for both sides.
Yeah, you wonder if both of these teams will start to turn away from the run a little bit, as through the air has been where they're finding success.
Ball on the 2 for Brown, and we'll see if he takes it himself, but he will get sent back, as it doesn't look like he made it there.
It's like a nice tackle by Keaton.
Or correction,
I
think yeah, it's going to be a touchdown. My apologies. He just made that one.
So a quick answer.
Quick 2-yard gain for the Bulldogs, and just like that, they have a chance to get a 1-point lead with the correct PAT. Bulldogs have not had a field goal completion at all this season. But when it comes to PATs, that is pretty textbook right up the middle, and they get a 1-point lead. So Mid-Prairie gets first blood, and the Bulldogs aren't too hesitant to strike back. They get a 1-point lead with 7:30 left in this first half here on One Access TV and Ustream. And always a reminder, this first half brought to you in part by Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company and Wellman Cooperative Telephone Association. We join you after a quick response by Tristan Timmerman and the Bulldogs that gave their team a 1-point lead as that kick is out of bounds. So favorable positioning for the Golden Hawks as they look to rebut.
And the Golden Hawks have had some good field position all day today. Not able to take advantage of any of it, really. Their only score was coming off some pretty unfavorable field position. An uneventful game until they did score, and then the Bulldogs come right back and swap it with their own six and then tack on the extra point to take the lead.
Yeah, you mentioned it, and I think a big reason why the Bulldogs have been off the scoreboard, despite a great defensive showing, has to be just the great punt game seen by the Bulldogs. We saw Timmerman really kill it with 2 very good punts in his end zone that resulted in the Bulldogs having to start their own possession in their own territory. So 1 back for Cordham. He gives it over to Hawbaker, and he'll try to find the sideline, and he will. He'll get some real estate, too. And there he is. He'll get tripped up, but maintain composure and fight around the 30 and get tackled around the 20. So the option sweep over to Hawbaker pays big dividends, and the Golden Hawks find themselves in the red zone.
Beautiful play. Hawbaker gets that one. Has some room, and then some nice blocks by Schwartz and Levi Dua just open up all sorts of room as he takes it up the sideline all the way to the 18-yard line.
And you mentioned the deadline speed that a lot of these halfbacks have. Once they are able to find that sideline and get some breathing room, they will do some serious damage on the ground. A very fast Golden Hawks team. And they're going to keep it on the ground, and for good reason. That one to Faisal. And he'll get taken down somewhere around the 15. Make that the 14, so 2nd and 6.
So you like to think that maybe those 2 big passing plays of the last drive, even the one that was called back, opening up that run game for the Golden Hawks, is earlier in the game it was run after run after run. They passed it a little bit, got some big yards, and it opened up the run game.
Yeah, when the Golden Hawks have scored, it's been on huge gains as Cordham's going to drop back, go for the corner, and a bit of a push off, but Dua really couldn't get much there.
Looked like Dua trying to get a little pass interference call there, but the ball was well overthrown and uncatchable.
No matter what, even if he could get the whistle there, it was, as you mentioned, well over his head. So with the incompletion, we're at 3rd and 6. As the Golden Hawks would hate to have to kick here. They want to try and possibly even get that missed PAT back. So 1 back for Cordham. Hawbaker in motion, and it's going to go to him again. And it worked last time. We'll see how it does this time. Not too well, as he'll get taken down around the 12-11 and force a 4th down.
And although it didn't open up much, Caleb Runquist had a really nice block on that end, doing his job, pushing that guy out until the play was over.
So we'll see the play call here on 4th down. Ball at the 12, so I'll make it a 4 and 4. And a quick conversation. Do you go for it here or go for the kick?
You know, I think, I don't know how good their kick game is. I think they go for it here. And it looks like that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, as you said, that's exactly what they're going to do. So 4th down, ball on the 12. And Cordham's going to roll out. Look for something downfield. See if he'll take it himself. He will. Fights for the 1st down, and he will seemingly get it. A battle there at the 1st down line. But the flag on the play will make that deliberation to see if he got a 1st down possibly a little less important.
It was a nice play by Cordham, waiting to see if anything opened up in the end zone, then taking it by himself at the last minute. And it looks like this one's going to be against the Bulldogs. Nope, this one's against the Golden Hawks.
Yep, going against the Golden Hawks.
And it looks like a chop block on the Golden Hawks.
But it looks like that was canceled with another penalty on the field. So the Golden Hawks do earn that 1st down, if that is what happened. If not, it'll be a chop block. And yeah, okay, yes, that's a chop block. No cancelization. It doesn't seem so. So it'll be the Bulldog ball at 8. I apologize. It appeared to me like the ref was pointing also at the Mediapolis side of the field. And flags are beginning to come in bunches. We saw them sequential order in the first quarter, and it's beginning to happen here as another quick flag. I don't want to delay a game.
And this isn't the area that either team wants to be getting penalties in.
Yeah, clarification, that was a sideline penalty against Mid-Prairie.
So my apologies there. The chop block that we called a sideline against Mid-Prairie. So 1st and 12. And now Quarterman has the ball, gives the handoff. She'll get a quick gain on that first down. The silent interference making it that 1st and 12 after the gain.
Minus that big Hawbaker run earlier on this drive, Bulldogs have had a very good rush defense all night, not really giving too much.
And some speed comes on in support for the Golden Hawks, Hawbaker and Vargas. We'll see Schwartz take a quick break. 5:11 left in what's been a very start and stop first half of action here. 2nd and 9, and we will see what Faisal can do. He'll find some trouble out in the backfield. He will continue to fight and scrap his way around the 6, but that's really about all he'll do.
Yeah, nice extra effort there for Faisal, but just really no blocks and nowhere for him to go as he ran into about 5 white jerseys off that edge.
So it's going to be a 3rd and 6 with the ball on the 6. So really do or die here if they want the 3rd down completion. Before we continue, a quick timeout, but we'll keep it here as it's going to be a very tough call for Coach Kavanaugh. If he wants to go through the air, try to get something on the ground with a sweep or a possible draw, what is your play call if you are the Golden Hawks?
This situation, I feel like Bulldogs are looking more to run. Honestly, it could go either way. If I'm Kavanaugh, though, I'd like to go with a play-action pass, a short dump, something that, right when you say hike, it's not over. Sometimes you get a run and they're right in the backfield and the play's just dead. With a pass, a play-action pass, you've got a little more time to make something happen. And these are some points that you want right before halftime when the Bulldogs are going to be receiving to start that second half.
Yeah, reminder as the Bulldogs deferred, so whatever happens here, you can expect a hurried possession to try to get a score before the half ends and get a score right after. So we'll see what happens after this 3rd down, a tough 3rd and 6. Very start and stop, as you mentioned. A lot of flags have hit the field for both sides. And the Golden Hawks are in prized position to try and take the lead back. We'll see what they can do here. Corum drops back a quick pass. That one intended for Schwartz, but really no one home there, and that could have been dangerous. That one could have came back.
Yeah, just went for the quick 2-step slant for Schwartz and let him a little too much, a little too antsy to get that throw off, and we'll bring up a 4th and 6, but in this territory, they're going to go for it.
So the Let's Go Hawks chant start to build here in Wellman. Quick sub.
Terran Jacoby coming in as number 51, Jason 2, runs off the field.
So 4th and 6. And if the Golden Hawks want to get on the scoreboard in the half, it's do or die. Rolling out his Cordum. He looks for his man, gets a completion, and it is a touchdown. And how about that? That one over to Schwartz, and he really didn't have a lot to work with in the corner, but was able to catch it and fall back across that line for the touchdown.
Nice play there. Quick play action, rolls to his left and just hits Schwartz. Nobody really looking at him. Hit him right away, falls in for 6. And so after no scoring now, we've seen 3 consecutive drives. 2 for the Golden Hawks, 1 for the Bulldogs. 3 drives of scoring.
The calls don't get easier, as we'll see if Kavanaugh wants to try and punch it in and remake that missed PAT. It looks like that will be his aim here. So I back with 1 wide. That's Schwartz. Ball goes right to Faisal, and he meets a lot of traffic in the middle. It did not look like he made it. He did not. Stop short And with 4:26 left, it is a 12-7 lead for Mid-Prairie after the Blake Schwartz touchdown. We'll see you right back here after a quick break on Wellman Access TV and Ustream. And we welcome you back to Wellman Access TV and Ustream, thanks in part to Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company and the Wellman Cooperative Telephone Association. So the kick will be a very tough one, just caught out of the end zone, and we will see what can be done here by Osborne. We won't get too far, and we'll see how the Bulldogs respond again to being scored on.
I think the most impressive part of that last play was the catch by Osborne.
Right.
Just a bullet kick. Had to put both his hands up over his head and snag it. And a solid return after the catch.
To regain composure after coming up all that way and have to run 20 yards is never easy.
Now a big drive here for the Bulldogs.
So Bulldogs again in shotgun. We saw them try the eye a bit, but they really love that trips wide. So the quick pitch will be made over to Buster, and he will get the legs taken out under him. And a tough fall and a tough loss of yards starts out this drive.
And that was Keaton Dua just coming out of nowhere. Buster tries to make a move, leaves his feet. Dua caught him in the air and wrapped him right down.
So the ground game continues to be unfruitful for the Bulldogs. 12 to get on this second down. Snap back is Brown. He'll make the completion. That one over and intended for number 45, Brendan Tapp, but he couldn't reel that one in.
Yeah, he had him. He was wide open. If he just makes that pass foot over to the right, that's a big completion, first down and some more.
On the season, Tapp with 55 yards. And he could have easily added 10 to that if he could have reeled that one in. So it's getting loud here in Wellman with a 3rd and 12. Now we have 4 wide, 2 on each of Brown's sides. And he feels the pressure. He'll get one off, but that one is deep, well over the head of the receiving Tristan Timmerman. And that'll be a quick 3 and out.
Yeah, that's not what the Bulldogs want there. Going down 12-7 now. They do get the ball at half, but leaving a lot of time on there for Mid-Prairie to tack on another score.
You mentioned that as a team that's been able to strike usually on just one huge play has 3 minutes and 38 seconds to get something going before we get out. As that ball hits the ground before it gets to the punter, the flag will hit the field. We'll see what the ruling is there. It's going to be a false start. So making the punt even harder. Although we have seen some amazing kicks coming, amazing punts from Ethan Timmerman. This is a position that's nothing new to him so far in this game.
Yeah, it seems like each time these guys go back there to receive his punts, they line up a little further back, but they keep running back. So let's see if they measured it out right this time.
And this one, very uncharacteristic, is it will die around the 40. And it's going to be around the 47. And we will see Tapp pick that one up. So, again, favorable position with 3:26. And we'll see if the Golden Hawks can find pay dirt before the half ends here on Wellman Access TV and Ustream.
So some nice field position for the Golden Hawks starting in Bulldog territory now.
So first in the 47, the pitch is out to Faisal. He tries to find the side, but that'll be dead in the backfield.
And the run just really hasn't been working, minus that big Hawbaker reverse. And, you know, I'd like to see him do some little dumps and some more passes just to open that up a little more.
Yeah, you mentioned the success that this offense has seen. It usually happens on 1 or 2 big plays, and both sides have not really had a methodical third down completion heavy offense. It's really been just huge gains at great times that have gotten the combined 19 points. And it's going to be another pitch off the faceoff. He's going to throw that one out to Schwartz, and he'll get it. The flea flicker will get Schwartz out to the 10, and he'll be taken down around the 4.
What a play and what a pass by Faisal. Looked like a run all the way, and he just flings one out there right over the shoulder. Beautiful pass. Ball didn't have the prettiest spiral, but placed perfectly. Schwartz able to come under it, and wow, what a play.
Man, it looked like that defense was licking their chops after seeing the sweep. They've taken him down off that before. And you saw a little bit of open coverage out to Schwartz. He capitalized, and he'll get his second big reception of the day. So after the completion from Faisal, that's his first of the season. We'll see what they can do here. Faisal will take it himself. He'll find left, and he'll find the end zone. Touchdown, Golden Hawks.
He makes that big pass, so they're going to reward him with a touchdown of his own. 18-7 now, and it looks like the Golden Hawks offense has found its groove.
So the Golden Hawks took the ball at around the 47 with 3:38 left, and they only needed a little bit over a minute as they are able to score with 2:24 left on the clock. 18-7 is the score before the PAT. And I think we will see the Golden Hawks try to get that 2 again. Unsuccessful the first time. And it's going to be Faisal getting the call. He'll try to find the right side, and he will make it in. So they get 2 there and enjoy a 13-point lead.
And that's nice, you know, Nolan Faisal, that's his last home game of his career. Able to get that big pass, then finish off the drive with a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, you mentioned the importance of showing up on senior night. We definitely saw him show up and do a great job. Also Schwartz, and who could forget Paul Hawbaker. So the seniors really showing up on their night, and they earn their team a 13-point lead with 2:24 left in the first half. And we'll see the kickers line up here.
Mid-Prairie crowd really getting into this one now. You can hear them chanting down there.
Yeah, you mentioned that both teams, honestly, have been cold that first quarter, and every point you see has been earned in this second. Quick time to thank the sponsors once again, as always, first half brought to you by Hills Bank and Trust Company and Yachty's Hardware. So we'll see what the Bulldogs can put together with 2:24 left. And a line drive kick will be fielded by Timmerman. We'll see what he can do. He gets some space out towards the right, shakes some tackles, and is down around the 30.
Another nice return by Osborne. Was that Osborne or Trimmerman there on the return?
It looks like Timmerman.
Timmerman, he's hit. Both of those guys have had some nice returns, some nice return game for the Bulldogs. That's pretty much been the only big signs of positive yardage besides the touchdown. So the Golden Hawks defense has been shutting them down in every aspect so far.
And we saw them go 3 and out, and they really gave the Golden Hawks some more than favorable field position. So we'll see what the usually potent offense has only been limited to 1 touchdown can do with the time at 2:16. Now he's going to go over to Buster, and he'll try to fight his way to get some yards.
Nice first down run there for Buster.
The draw seemed to work just as planned, as they'll get around 6 to 5 yards there.
And I'm really surprised we haven't seen Brown run the ball more. I mean, he's got 596, their leading rusher on the ground, 7 touchdowns on the ground. They really haven't utilized him the way I thought we would see tonight.
Yeah, we mentioned the importance of the dual threat. Well, he's been sacked twice, and again, not on the ground. That's a quick pass again. That one intended for number 51, Morgan Branch. You couldn't read that one in.
Nice coverage there by Keaton Dua. He's been making some nice defensive plays today. Said his name a couple of times on this side of the ball. And pretty much everybody is sticking on their man, succeeding on their assignments on the defensive side of the ball.
So 2 wide to the right and left of Brown. Buster is back, and that's going to be blown dead before that play gets off. And we'll see what It's going to be a timeout. And as they take a timeout, so will we. 1:41 left in the first half. 13-point lead in favor of the Golden Hawks. Five yards to gain for the Bulldogs as we welcome you back to the first half of D2 action. Again, the battle for that second seed as Brown will roll out and will just overshoot number 5 there, Tristan Timmerman.
And that's not what you want there. That was a big third down. Just a minute 36 left here in this first half. They've really let the Golden Hawks kind of dictate the way this game is being played. First quarter was very even, but Golden Hawks have figured them out, it seems like, on both sides of the football, and are back to receive now.
So 2 back. And another low snap here. And we'll see a quick rush to receive there, but at the same time, a good illustration of just how wet this field is, as Faisal really can't get anywhere.
Yeah, just catches it, slips a little bit into Blake Schwartz, and down at the 35.
So 1:29 left. We'll see what the strategy is here for Kavanaugh and the Golden Hawks. If they want to see if they can find the end zone again with 90 seconds, or try to run the clock out and go into the half with just under a 2-score lead.
Still no real Ricky Vargas sightings today.
3 wide for Quarter. It definitely looks like they're going through the air here. And a wide open Schwartz will take the catch, and he'll try to find the sideline around the 30. He'll get a big block from Hawbaker and fight his way to the 10.
And you know, they got to keep going to it. That's what's been working, is the big pass game. Schwartz able to find some open area again. Cordham hits him. Hawbaker, the nice block. And you said, let's see if they try and score, and it looks like that's what they're trying to do. Another, what looks like could be another very quick scoring drive for the Golden Hawks.
And that'll be the 3rd huge passing gain for Schwartz. He's had a great day. He came in to tonight's action with 309 yards, and you can certainly expect that figure to increase come the half, and certainly by the end of the game. And I think we'll have another timeout here. That one on Mediapolis. We'll keep it here. Just talk about how the importance of Blake Schwartz and how he's been able to find himself get open.
Yeah, you know, two drives in a row. Last one, it was the bite on the Faisal pitch. A little flea flicker was able to free him. Earlier in the game, we've seen him get open on some nice little 2-yard slants. That one just finds himself up the right side of the field in open area, running some nice routes tonight, getting himself some space, separation, making nice catches. And then Cordham, another one of the seniors playing his last home game tonight, able to hit him up the sideline for a big game.
Yeah, you mentioned the importance of the seniors. They've been having a great campaign tonight. Obviously, you talk about the quarterback Cordham, but Blake Schwartz, a senior who's been performing super well, as have Hawbaker. And guys like Tolander, who of course leads this team in tackles. So we'll see what the seniors can do with 1:17 left. And you talk about Faisal, who's been getting a lot of touches. Not seen a lot of Vargas. And again, out in the backfield is going to be Faisal again. And he'll get the pitch, try to find the left. He'll try to get a block here. Nice, a slip will get him some space. And he'll get some yards there on a 1st and goal.
Nice block by Carson Dew on the edge, able to spring him free for a couple more yards than he would have gotten.
Yeah, gain of 4 for a 2nd and 6. Again, time just under a minute now, 50 seconds left. As the Golden Hawks certainly have enough time for a couple more shots at a 3rd touchdown.
One timeout for both teams remaining.
Oh, and you see Cordham just slip out there. Again, very wet conditions, and we're going to think we see a timeout just to keep the clock dead after that fall. So the Golden Hawks have to take a quick breath as they realize it's 3rd and 6 after a slip with the conditions.
Make that 3rd and 11 actually. It's gonna erase the prior run by Faisal by 5 yards. And
My apologies. Yeah, 3rd and 1 after the 4-yard gain, as you mentioned. And we'll see. It's going to be a very tough call because you have 2 shots at the end zone. So if you wanted to, you could try to see what you could do on the ground with Faisal or even possibly Vargas. Or you can view it as 2 just quick chances to try and throw it in there off a slant or a curl.
yeah, you know, either way, whatever they do, time is on their side. They don't really have to worry about leaving anything on the clock right now as it's pretty low. Bulldogs probably aren't going to make a drive. But right here, you know, 3rd and 11, I'd like to see him maybe a little pitch, make that 4th down a little easier.
And that was the last timeout on the half for the Golden Hawks. So they got 30 seconds and 2 plays. Make that 31. Out in shotgun is Cordham, a low snap. It'll corral it. He'll feel some pressure and roll right. And his throw over will be down at around the 11. On the completion was Levi Dua. And he'll get some positive yards out of what looked to be a pretty dead situation.
So a 4th and 11 now, and this is going to be the last play of the half.
They got to hurry up. 7 seconds left and counting. Last shot at pay dirt. As a deep throw from Cordham will be in the middle of a lot of action. That'll be deflected, but before we end this at the half, there's a flag on the field.
That was thrown in the area of holding. Let's see what it is.
And yeah, that will be a holding, and that's going to be declined. So with the declined hold call, we will call that a half. A tough first quarter, not a lot going offensively, but both teams seem to get a feel of how to score in this game. But certainly, the Golden Hawks found a bigger success rate as they go into the second half up 13. It's 27 in favor of Mid-Prairie here on senior night. And we'll join you right back at the beginning of the 3rd quarter here on Wellman Access TV and Ustream.
Welcome back to Wellman, Iowa for the second half of this football game brought to you by First Class Apparel along with Alex Giannakopoulos. I'm Dan Wilson. And what started off as a very even game, 0-0 after the first quarter, turned into an offensive game in the second quarter with the Mid-Prairie Golden Hawks putting up 20 to the Mediapolis Bulldogs 7. And just break down that first half for me a bit, Alex.
Well, offensively, both teams really mirrored each other. I mean, we saw both teams try to get something going on the ground in the first quarter, and it just not working. And then, come that second half, we saw some, explosive throws downfield for both teams. And it just so happened that the Golden Hawks seemed to have a little more success with those deep passes.
So there's Mason Buster on that return, ran down by Levi Dua, and now some extracurricular activity going on around the 30, a couple flags before that.
Yeah, that's Zach Erickson for the Bulldogs. And
mixing it up with Cameron Tolander.
Yeah, Kalen Tolander. Not making friends.
No. And this is a very big game for both teams. Each 2 6-2 teams fighting for that number 3 spot in the playoffs. And so now we got the refs talking a little bit. It looks like we're going to get a decision here in a second.
So both flags were down before that little skirmish around the 35. So we'll see if that's at all going to be called. That's just a little bit of extracurricular pushing.
So we're going to get a hold on the Bulldogs and then a personal foul against the Golden Hawks. So that's going to offset. And so a couple penalties on each team. No harm, though, done as they offset. And oh, now we're going to re-kick, actually.
So as penalties go, we've seen the Golden Hawks struggle with penalty numbers throughout the season. They've been pretty good today. You look at their totals penalty-wise, and they are significantly lower than the Bulldogs. As going into this half, they've only given up 3 for a total of 14. That's compared to the Bulldogs' 8 for 59. So they haven't been on the winning side of the penalty game often, but it's very important to have them and have the winning side here when the game is so close.
So now the Bulldogs back to receive again, trying to start something on offense. They've got that one touchdown, but really haven't been able to control the ball today. Only 7 minutes of possession to Mid-Prairie's 16. And now Osborne with that reception, and he's looking for some blocks and runs right in to Levi Dua and Jason too. And so they're going to start this drive at around the 25-yard line.
Yeah, that line drive was tough for Osborne to corral, but he did. And then just kind of met a wall of black and gold at around the 20.
And now this first half for the Bulldogs was a lot of passing. They threw the ball 11 times to only 7 rushes.
And a thing of note, especially for Mid-Prairie, you look at the day that Blake Schwartz has been having. He came into the night with 309 yards off of 12 receptions. Well, he's got 5 today for 160 yards. So he has gotten more than half of what he's made the entire season tonight.
Brown in the shotgun hands that off to Mason Buster, and a couple yards picked up on that play, not too much.
And again, I mean, you look at the stats for the halftime, only 7 attempts on the ground for the Bulldogs, and that's only none of them 8 yards. And that rush goes to show what's been going on throughout all of the night. A huge stymied offense when it comes to the rush. And as you mentioned going into that game, this is a team with 4 or 5 backs with 100-plus yards.
Yeah, Mid-Prairie's defensive line winning the push so far, and 2 comes off fast, but Brown able to get it away. A nice screen, and it's going to be close to a first down. Looks like a little short. That was number 5, Tristan Timmerman, on the reception.
And Timmerman took another hit there as it's the second tackle that's involved the guy having his legs taken out from under him. So some tough tackles from a very tough Golden Hawk defense.
So now a 3rd and 1 for the Bulldogs. They're 1 for 6 so far on 3rd down conversions. A lot of them have been long 3rd down conversions, though. Here on the short one, they're going to run a draw. And it's going to be close. I think he got it. That was number 33, Levi Eberhard, on the carry. He came very close before running into a wall of Golden Hawks.
Yeah, it looked like Eberhard got that one. As the second he hit that wall, as you mentioned, he was just over the line of scrimmage. So good to see if you are the Bulldogs to see a first down, and it's seemingly been a long time.
And so they do move the chains, the second 3rd down conversion of the day for Mediapolis. Now a 1st and 10 with the ball on the 38. Brown staying in the shotgun. He's got 2 to his right and 2 to his left, and he's looking to pass this one. Another screen, and it's dropped, and Cordum thought that one was behind the line, tried to fall on it, but it's going to be called dead and incomplete.
Yeah, that one out to Timmerman, and it's tough to get those quick passes when you can obviously tell your quarterback is chucking it hard and trying just to get the ball off. What's been a very consistent and good pressure from the Golden Hawks. They've been doing a great job getting to Arthur before he's been comfortable. Again, this is a guy with 1,131 yards, and they've done a good job keeping him from getting set and getting comfortable in the pocket.
Brown staying in the shotgun, empty backfield. Oh, that's a direct snap to Mason Buster, actually. He's going to take that one all the way, all 10 yards, get that first down, and keep the chains moving.
And already with 2 first downs, this is a very new kind of offense we've seen for both sides. When both teams have scored, it's been off huge plays. It hasn't been a methodical get a first down off of a run type of offense so far in these first 2. So to see them slow down and kind of get something going on the ground after only getting 8 in the first half is very important for the Bulldogs.
So Brown in the shotgun, and he's going to fake the handoff, keep this one to himself, and down he goes, Levi Dua. Another tackle for loss. That's his 2nd sack of the ball game. Actually, that might be his 3rd. Levi Dua just all over the place tonight.
Yeah, and the second Brown decided to take that one and started to stumble. You knew he was kind of dead in the backfield because Dua was certainly licking his chops. A great job not biting on the fake and getting the huge loss of downs for a 6-yard sack.
So now a long 2nd and 16, empty backfield. Brown looking to pass, and another rush. And this time he's taken down by Levi Dua again. That's number 4.
And that's just what I'm talking about. He has 0 time to get comfortable. And when the Golden Hawks bring the blitz, a guy who is very good at dealing with pressure and scrambling. Again, we're talking about a guy who came in today with around 600 rushing yards, had no options to even try to get out of the backfield. They did a great job taking him down.
Levi Dua came into tonight's ball game with 7 sacks. He's in double digits now with 11. And he's just feeling it off that right end. And here he comes again. He's going to get this pass off to Buster, who makes a move looking for that outside corner, turns it upfield, and he's got the first down. Oh, excuse me, he crosses the first marker. He's going to be about 5 yards short of the first down, but a nice play there on 3rd and long.
And that's a good play call. After you get 2 sacks and you have any kind of opportunity to get the 3rd, they're going to probably commit on the draw just to try to get number 3. And good job by Brown dealing with the pressure there and getting it off to a 4th and manageable if they choose to go for it.
So a 4th and 5 here.
And I think we'll see a punt.
And it looks like they are going to punt it. Faisal back to receive for the Golden Hawks. And it's a fake to Brown, and he's going to pass this one. And he's got his man. And that's a first down for the Bulldogs. That's a nice play there as he found Josh Osborne. Looked like they were going to punt, direct snap to Brown, who's able to find his guy.
Good fake. And with 5 yards, I mentioned, that's manageable. And that would never have happened if it wasn't for the great screen there by Buster that got them to that 4th and 5 situation. And just like that, look out, the Bulldogs are rolling.
So able to catch them off guard are the Bulldogs now into Mid-Prairie territory. Ball on the 39. And Buster's going to get this snap, and he's going to take it right up the middle again. And there's a nice run for Buster.
What seemed to work right now for Mediapolis is just going for direct snaps, as you mentioned, giving the defense no time to get set and just relying on your speed with the direct snap to get at least 3 or 4 positive yards.
Yeah, and this was a team that we came in, we thought they were going to hit the ground running all day, and they only had 8 rushing yards in the first half. So look for them to wake up, and there's a screen, and this one close to being behind the line of fumble, but it's going to be incomplete.
And so far, not a huge success rate on the screen. We saw the one on this drive that set them up for that 4th and 5, but other than that, the Bulldogs have not had a huge return rate on a lot of these screens.
So a 3rd and 3 now for the Bulldogs. Brown's going to head the line with 2 to his right and 2 to his left. Mason Buster, the back behind him. Brown's in the shotgun. And Brown's going to pass. He's going to heave this one deep. And he overthrows him. That was Josh Osborne, the intended target. That's going to bring up a 4th and 3 now.
And I'll tell you, Osborne had his man beat, which was Jacoby. He had him beat by a mile. And that just comes down to a quick shake of the head there from Brown. As that could have been a touchdown, if not a huge gain of yards.
So now 4th and 3, a must. They must convert here to keep the drive alive, wanting to get on the board down 20-7.
So after that fake punt, it's a 1-for-1 on 4th down, so we'll see if they can keep their record perfect here.
Brown staying in that shotgun, rolling to his right, gets rid of it. His arm got hit a little bit as he threw, looking for Buster. Hit him in the hands, but couldn't hold on, and that's a turnover on down.
Yeah, that pocket collapsed quick because of the blitz, and he really had no time to get comfortable on that throw to Buster. And just like that, we saw some serious progress and life from this Bulldogs offense, but fortunately for them, they could not translate that to a point on the board.
So here comes Mid-Prairie now, looking to make this a 3-possession game. And they're going to go with Cordum under center, 2 to his right, but this one's going to go to Faisal. Looking to get the outside corner and gets tripped up before he can make the move. Pick up of a couple.
And you have to really want this touchdown if you can find your way on the scoreboard for Mid-Prairie, as with a score, you'd get yourself up to a pretty comfortable around 20-point lead pending on PAT success.
So a solid four-yard gain there for Faisal. 6:40 left here in this third quarter. That is brought to you by First Class Apparel and Federation Bank. Cordham under center. And this one going to Faisal again to the left side. And he's got some room to run and some blocks, and that's a first down run for Nolan Faisal.
Good hesitation there by Faisal. Took a little bit more time just as he got around the lineman and found a quick hole that he was able to exploit for a first down.
So that the 8th first down of the evening for the Golden Hawks. Cordham staying right under center with Jacoby to his left, Shorts to his right. And Jacoby in motion here. And it's going to go right to Faisal. This one to the right side. He's going right up the middle. A nice 6-yard pickup for Nolan Faisal.
I think Faisal, and just this rushing offense in general, has worn down the Mediapolis defenses. We saw Faisal try to no avail to get a sweep going or run up the gut that really only got him 2 or 3 yards, but now it appears that he's picking up 4 or 5 yards on average. I think he's finally beginning to wear down this line and win the war of the trenches.
Schwartz in motion now for the Golden Hawks. And we got a flag. And that's going to be a false start on the offense.
Well, that won't make things easier, of course, but at the same time, we've seen this team able to close up bigger gaps than what they're going to look at now.
So instead of 2nd 4, the Golden Hawks looking at a 2nd and 9. The ball on the 45-yard line. Just above 6 minutes left here in the third quarter. I'd like to thank our sponsors, Radio Shack of Kelowna and Washington, and Yachty's Ice Cream and Easy Go Golf Cart Sales and Services. I formation now with Jacoby and Schwartz to the left, and it's handed off to Faisal. And it looks like he's going to pick up about 4 on that carry.
And you mentioned also a team that we usually see that have that 1, 2, 3 punch of Dua, Vargas, and Faisal just kind of is okay with that first option. It's been doing a great job with Faisal, and he pretty much got the yards they lost in the penalty back there.
So a 3rd and 4 now, very doable for the Golden Hawks. On third downs tonight, they are 2 for 8. Would like to be a little bit better in that category. Let's see if they can improve their percentage here. Back to Faisal. Stays on his feet, breaks some tackles, and look at him keep those legs churning as he gets the first down and a handful more.
Yeah, Faisal ran into a situation that looked pretty dire. There were a lot of bodies in that scrum at the line of scrimmage, but he was able to fight his way outside and get well more than that first down. Great work.
Clock ticks under 5 now, 4:50 here in the third quarter, still 20-7 Golden Hawks. I'd like to thank First Class Apparel. I formation for the Golden Hawks, and it's back to Faisal again, and he's got some room to run. Got a block, and he's making the cut up the sideline, taken down, but a nice first down run. Nolan Faisal about 15 on the carry.
Yeah, and again, he's just been doing what he does best. That is using his size and quickness to finding open spaces and then being able to shake and show some dexterity on some really close tackles. He is a tough guy to take down, especially in the open field.
And you said he was having some trouble in the first half. 19 carries for 50 yards. That's only 2.5. He is averaging around 5 on the season, and he's looked more like that 5-yard per carry running back this half. So Cordham is going to give it to him again, and why not? Because he's having success, and there's more first downs for Faisal, but a flag.
That one towards the end of the play. Very well could be a hold, but we'll see what the ruling is.
And it looked like it could also be in the area of the tackle, but it is against the Golden Hawks.
So we mentioned them going into this half with a very good penalty number. We said 3 for 14, but they've gotten, I believe, 2 on this drive alone.
So nice run erased for Nolan Faisal. It's going to be 1st and 12 now on the 27.
Not to mention Faisal getting himself on the passing stats as well with that halfback pass for
Hawbaker
54
in
yards.
motion, and he's going to get this one. He had a big run on a play like this earlier in the first half, and he's turning the corner. That's a nice little run for Hawbaker.
Yeah, you know, you see Hawbaker as a guy who is a key defender, and that's for good reason. You know, he does have 4 interceptions, but at the same time, you have to understand that this guy has speed and just a great job when finding the open routes to also be a great option at the halfback.
But those yards that Hawbaker got there are going to be brought back by another holding call against Mid-Prairie. And when they ran that play in the first half, they ran it to the left side, and Hawbaker broke off a big 48-yard run. One of the bigger plays in today's game, but this one going the other way as it is going to be 1st and 26 with the ball on the 27, ball on the 40, excuse me. Cordum staying under center, Schwartz in motion, Hawbaker to his left. Trips up a little bit, does Cordum, but he gets this one away, looking for Hawbaker, and it's intercepted. Intercepted around the 13, and that's not what you want when you're starting to drive, and the penalties did push him back a little bit, and now we have a man down. That looks like Cordum down around the 50-yard line.
And it looked like Brown on the interception also, as Cordum's in a bad case. He got hit pretty hard around midfield. That'll be Brown's second interception, but more importantly for the Golden Hawks is their starting quarterback has some issues, which what appears to be with his left leg rather.
And hopefully that's just cramps or something, as it looks like they're just stretching him out there. That's a guy you don't want to lose, and he looks like he's fine. He's going to get up and walk this one off on his own.
Get by his own power, and a tough interception there is a little bit of a desperation throw. He was in double coverage, and you saw Brown be able to capitalize. At the same time, good to see him on his own power. Understand that there's a pretty good backup in Gingrich who led his team to a victory around week 4 against the Weiser Muscatine.
We've got 3:23 left here in the third quarter. Bulldogs really not able to do anything besides that. They had that one big pass play setting up their first and only touchdown of the game. Other than that, it's been really just running into a wall of black and gold.
And you mentioned that as the run game, they got some progress with Buster. He had some work with direct snaps that seemed to get something going, but at the same time, they've had a hard time since the second finding the scoreboard, let alone the red zone.
So Brown looking to pass now, and he's going to air this one out. And just a duck out of the hands of Brown. I don't know if that one got tipped, but that was not in the area of any receivers, really bringing up a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that one could have gone to tap, but with the amount of torque, it looked like he was putting into that. I would have assumed that that one was going to Timmerman. And either he got interrupted there, or the ball is just wet and it got away from him. Nonetheless, an incompletion is an incompletion.
So backed up are the Bulldogs, and they're going to hand this one off. And that was Buster on the carry, and not too much of a gain there. Going to be a 3rd and decent amount.
So we saw them convert on 2 third downs on that last drive, and that's better than their record of the first half of 2nd and 8. So, or scratch that, they had a 1 and 6. So we'll see what they can do now with that 3 for 9 on 3rd down.
So a big 3rd down for the Bulldogs. They need to start playing with a little sense of urgency. And Brown rolling out to his left, and he slips as he throws. Looked like it could have been picked off by Faisal, but that's complete to Osborne. And it looks like he just took it out of the hands of Faisal.
Man, you just gotta tip your hat there, as it looked like an interception for Faisal, especially off Brown, who was just sliding as he was making that throw. But you mentioned great heads-up awareness of not only knowing where Osborne, where he was, but also his surroundings and knowing that there was a guy right behind him. So some great preservation there that not only saves the interception, but gets his team a 1st down.
So some clutch plays there, and this one to Buster. He tries to make something of nothing, but he can't, and he's brought down right away behind the line.
And, man, with the amount of pressure the Golden Hawks are bringing, it just seems like delayed handoffs are not working for the Bulldogs throughout this game. If they're going to get something on the ground, it's got to be quick.
Yeah, especially when you got guys like Dua, 2, and Tolander just busting through that line. Those delayed handoffs are not going to work. So Brown staying in the shotgun, and he's going to pitch a screen to Osborne, who's got some room, and Levi Dua coming up behind him and taking him down before he could turn that into a first down play.
Impressive speed by Dua to make up on that lost tackle there.
Really can close the gap in a short amount of time. So ticking down is this third quarter, 1:30 on the clock. We'd like to thank our second half sponsors, First Class Apparel, Federation Bank, Radio Shack of Kelowna and Washington, and Yachty's Ice Cream and Easy Go Golf Cart Sales and Service. Brown in the shotgun for this 3rd and 4, looking to pass, and he's going to dump it, and a big hit. A big hit by Keaton Dua, able to break up that pass. It looked like he found Mason Buster on that one, but Keaton Dua just says, no, not today.
Dua's eyes lit up. The second Buster had to turn around, Dua knew, completion or no completion, I got him. And he laid him out at around the line of scrimmage. There was no chance of even holding onto that ball, let alone thinking about getting a yard or two on that game.
Yeah, Keaton Dua didn't like seeing that fourth down play be converted. He didn't want to give him that 3rd down, so he just erased it. And now back to return our Faisal and Hawbaker. And his knee was down when he caught the snap for the punt. So it's going to be very, very favorable field position for the Golden Hawks.
Yeah, I'll tell you, things just aren't going in the way of the Bulldogs. When it rains, it pours. After having a 3-and-out and watching one of your guys get popped, your knees hit the ground off of what's been a pretty consistent level of low snaps. I mean, we've seen Timmerman have to really get down there to get the snap, and that time it cost his team, and now that ball's going to be around the 24.
And that's huge considering the leg that we've seen of Ethan Timmerman tonight. He's booted some long ones and put the Golden Hawks in some bad field position. Now starting on the 23-yard line are the Golden Hawks, and this one to Faisal. And he's going to keep trying to move that pile. And that was Carson Dua actually on the carry there.
I'm telling you, this rush game has really just weakened this defense. They look tired, and when you're able just to punch up the middle and at the beginning have the exact same play call with pretty decent blocking, get you 2 or 3 yards, and as we move on in this game, get you 4 or 5 yards, that just shows the resilience and the stamina that this offense has.
So we had no scoring in the first quarter to start the game, and no scoring so here in the third quarter to start the second half. All 27 points so far in that second quarter. Golden Hawks trying to add on, though, here with 33 seconds left in the third, make it a 3-possession game. And clock will start to tick as Cordum goes under center. Going to give this one to Dua again, that time. Keaton Dua on the carry. So that carry is going to take us into the fourth quarter. No scoring, still sitting here at 20-7, but Golden Hawks looking to score as they are in the red zone. And we're going to take a break right now. It is 20-7, Golden Hawks with the lead, and we will be right back here after this on Wellman.
And the fourth quarter brought to you in part by Radio Shack of Kelowna and Washington and Yachty's Ice Cream and Easy Go Golf Carts. And a quick pitch to Faisal to try to find right. Will get some real estate, but that'll really be about it there.
And now that'll bring up a fourth down, and Golden Hawks really not the team to kick field goals. What do you think? They're going to go for it here, 4th and 7?
I think they really have to. I don't think they want to prove a lot by risking it and trying to get around a 30-yard kick when you can really have the chance to get a commanding lead with a possible touchdown. And I think you also should have faith in your defense that if you give the ball up at the 21 that you can keep the Bulldogs off the scoreboard. And it looks like they're going to just go with that as 1 back and 2 wide with Carson Dua back for Cordham. Kobe in motion, a low snap, but he'll adjust, and he will gun it out left for Dua. And he'll bobble that one around as there's a fight there. Dua trying to argue that he caught it and believes that that will be agreed with. Yeah, he did come down with that one as the referee rules that as a completion right outside the end zone.
And it was close. You know, we'd need the cameras on that one. We'd have to take it to the replay booth.
We'll see if.
Fortunately, we don't have that, but.
We'll see if we can get Larry to run over with the camera, see what he can do.
And now they're going to call it incomplete.
Oh.
Tough call there. Incomplete right after the completion.
He came down, the ground hit the ground, caused the incomplete.
You have to wonder, yeah, if Dua trying to argue that he did have the ball, but it looks like the ruling will be that the ground itself was what popped the ball out before we had full.
Yep. He did not complete the process of the catch.
So now you wonder if that play will inject some life into the Bulldogs. That would have been a deflating play, leaving the Golden Hawks just, you know, a yard away from making this a 3-possession game. Now if you're the Bulldogs, you got a full quarter to get 2 scores. The score here, it's a 1-possession game, very doable. So a big drive coming up for the Bulldogs here. Need to play with that sense of urgency.
Oh, you're right. Make no mistake about it. There sure is a ton of time on the clock with 11:48 for a guy who's just so potent on the ground and in the air in Brown to get something going for his team. So again, in the shotgun is Brown, and he will take it himself in the pocket. Feeling some pressure, a huge aired out pass.
Oh.
And I think we might have a pass interference here.
And to me, that looked like some good defense by Faisal. I think they're going to call it on him. Looked pretty clean to me.
His Faisal, yeah. I think what may have, if that is the call, what may have been the thing that triggered the pass interference was a little push off to try to get that pick, as it was overshot. We'll see what the call is, though.
And they do put it on Faisal. They're going to move the chains in favor of the Bulldogs. But, you know, all the contact up that sideline looked to me like a little bit pushing both ways. And I think that's something, as a referee, you just got to go with a no call.
Well, I think that comes down to preference. Some guys will let them get a little bit of pushing on the sideline. Some will not, as we'll see Brown take it himself. But that'll be blown dead before he will go down. So we'll see what the call there was before the snap.
And we cannot forget the magnitude of this game with each team playing for that number 3 spot. This will depend for them, you know, if they play that number 1 seed in Central or the number 2 seed Williamsburg.
So with the false start, we'll get 1st and 15. Ball at the 33. And again, 4 wide out for Brown, and he'll try to get something going deep. Really nothing doing there.
That one's going to skid all the way past the track to the fence.
That looked intended for tap, but we've seen Brown get excited and kind of overthrow his guys. I mean, he has a guy in Tristan Timmerman who's 6'3", and a few times he's overthrown him. So that has been his biggest error when it comes to incompletions.
Timmerman coming into the ballgame as their leading receiver. 29 catches, 403 yards off those receptions, and a pair of touchdowns.
So again, 4 wide for Brown, and this one's going to go for Timmerman, but he will slip and not be able to get enough footing to switch over to his left side and bring that one in. And not just with Timmerman, we have seen that error, the field not helping out the receivers several times on both ends when it comes to trying to pivot and go for a catch.
And on a drier field, I think that he would have been able to make that catch. So that is just today's conditions playing into the ball game.
So 3rd and long for the Bulldogs. 2 incompletions lead to the 3rd and 15 situation for Brown and the Bulldogs. And this one up the middle. It is complete. That one for Buster. It is hit
Ball
from
comes
behind,
out.
and that one comes out. But I think the call is that he was down, much to the chagrin of the Golden Hawks faithful.
That was a nice catch by Buster.
And there's going to be another flag on this play also. We'll see what the flag is for.
It looks like roughing the passer against the Golden Hawks, so that's going to tack on big chunk to that little reception.
And that will bail the Golden Hawks out of a 4th down and get them out of a 3rd and 15 situation. Now, very favorable position. They're on the 38. And with 11 minutes left, they're looking to strike and get this game within 1 score.
Very big possession here for the Bulldogs.
4 wide, 2 to each of Brown's sides. He will snap back and feel some pressure, but get that one off, and that'll be a completion. That'll get him about 4 or 5 yards.
It was a nice rush by the Golden Hawks. It looked like Cameron Tolander coming in there to supply the heat.
And tap with the curl that got them those 3 yards. So 2nd and 7. Now 3 wide right. And that one goes over the buster. He'll take it high and he'll keep going. He'll fight for that 1st down and be taken down around that 1st down marker.
Looks like inches short of the 1st down there. That'll bring up an easy 4th.
And no question, 4th and manageable here for Mediapolis.
3rd.
Oh, my apologies. 3rd down. So the linebackers come towards the box. Here comes the pressure and the delayed handoff.
Met by a wall.
Again, no success there. And that seems to be the story of when the Bulldogs run the draw. I'm not sure if I like that call, as due to previous history, they've done a great job sniffing out the fake.
Yeah, and that was Tolander, Runquist, Levi Dua, Keaton Dua, just some gang tackling by the Golden Hawks, able to stop them and bringing up a very big 4th and 2.
So the delayed handoff not successful. One more crack at it here on the 30. 2 yards to gain for Mediapolis. Let's see if they can do it. 4 wide, 1 back, and they're going to blow that play dead before it gets off.
And that's going to be a Mediapolis timeout.
And my biggest guess is just that Brian Borison did not like what he saw out there. As again, in a very quick defense, able to sniff out any kind of fake or delayed handoff. Nonetheless, though, if you are head coach Brian Borison, what's your call here to try to fool or handle what's going to be a very heavy rush from the Golden Hawks?
You know, Golden Hawks have been pretty good stopping any of the runs up the middle. Where the Bulldogs have had success up the middle, though, has been the direct snaps. So if they're going to go up the middle, I'd like to see them do something like that. Any kind of sweep or reverse is a little risky on a 4th down, even though it is just 2 yards. Anywhere where you're going back a little bit just seems like too much of a risk to me, so I'd like to see a direct snap or maybe a little shotgun dump.
You know, I agree. I think it has to be quick. I think any kind of option or fake has not gone the way of the Bulldogs. And whenever they've gotten those big gain grounds, it's usually been a direct handoff or a quick handoff up the gut to Buster, who does have a very impressive speed. And again, with this 4th down opportunity, brought to you in part by First Class Apparel and Federation Bank. 4th and 2 again. The winner gets that 2nd seed in the division. Scratch that, the 3rd seed in the division. They can decide it here. Rolling out is Brown. He has a lot of pressure in the backfield. He'll try to take it himself, and ooh, that is close.
Very close. That might be right down on the line. They're going to have to come out and measure this one, it looks like.
They'll need to bring the chains out for sure.
And Cordum's pointing the other way. He's ready to take over on offense.
We'll see, and it looks like it is a 1st down for the Golden Hawks.
Wow, they don't even bring out the chains.
Man, that's close. I feel like you at least have to do it justice and bring the chains out.
Yeah, it looked a lot closer up here maybe than it was down there, but either way, that's a turnover for the Bulldogs, and Golden Hawks looking to put it away now.
So I think you can expect a more ground game central strategy here with 9 minutes left and a 13-point lead.
Yeah, the way Faisal's been running the ball, no reason to turn away from that. Just try and drain the clock and add on to the score.
And just like that, it'll go off to Faisal. He won't get a ton. He's beaten up around the 27.
Clock about to tick under 9 minutes.
I mentioned the name of the game here, yeah, it's just time management. They did a good job in the first half. They had 16:36 compared to the 7:24 of time possession in that first half. And with how Faisal's been running, I wouldn't be too inclined to say that wouldn't be the same way. I think they also have controlled the clock in this half as well. And the man in motion will take it. And the jet sweep won't get too much, but Schwartz will get back to the line of scrimmage for a quick third down.
Through those 2 plays, Golden Hawks able to erase about 2 minutes off the clock. So although they haven't moved the ball really on the drive so far, still a successful drive just in draining the clock.
And the question becomes, after killing 2 minutes, do you try to get to the first down through the air or just commit to killing the clock and run it here?
You know, I wouldn't be opposed to a pass here to get that first down. Just try and extend the drive even longer and drain it as much as you can.
And we'll see just that as Cordham rolls out, faking out of the I formation. He'll take it himself. Pass the 30, try to find the sideline. He'll get the first down and then some, and then just save himself and walk out of bounds. Great heads-up play there to get the first down on the ground.
Nice play by Cordham, nice vision. Rolls out to his right, doesn't really see anything, and cuts it back to the other side of the field where it's just open green all the way. Nice vision and a nice play by Cordham.
So with the first down, the ball will be on the 49. And a whole fresh set of downs means that we can expect the Golden Hawks to eat off some more clock. I formation, and that one goes to Faisal. Faisal breaks 2 tackles and fights his way to a near first down.
Nice job by Faisal staying on his feet, making something out of that run. And also towards the end of that run, nice job holding onto the football as there were some Bulldogs trying to strip it, get a turnover, trying to make something happen to get them back into this ball game.
And the chains move once more, so our clock's going to stop at 7:45 until Cordham goes under center. This Faisal gets number 10 on the ground. And we'll see if they just look to wash, rinse, and repeat here. And the box being stacked a bit by the Bulldogs, and a quick handoff will get due us some yards there and a good, healthy first down run.
Yeah, not going to complain about that on first down. Keeps the clock moving. As long as you're not going backwards at this point, it's a successful play. And 4 yards on a first down, I'll take that any day of the week.
So now with just over 7 left on the fourth quarter, you see the Golden Hawks killing some clock. They killed about 2.5 minutes so far and are in position to do more. The pitch to Schwartz is called dead there as there's some movement on the line. And yeah, okay, neutral zone infraction there. So 5-yard penalty will make it 2nd and 11.
Still waiting to see if anybody could get on the board in the second half. All the scoring brought to you in the second quarter. 27 points, all of them in the second quarter.
Just mentioned that third quarter stalemate, really both teams going back to the ground game, as that's a pitch out to Faisal. He'll try to find the line, and he will. Gets to the sideline and fights near the first down, but before we adjust the third down chains, it's going to be a flag on the field. And that is going to be a hold against Mid-Prairie. So after 2 successful Faisal runs, both come back and makes this a very hefty down. Take this time to thank Radio Shack of Kelowna and Washington and Yachty's Ice Cream and Easy Go Golf Carts, Sales, and Service for their support of this second half of Mid-Prairie football. Around 6:28 left as Corbin's going to take it himself, and just like that, he feels the pressure in the pocket. He'll shake a tackle. He'll shake two. He'll fight for the side, but he will slip around midfield. Always a tough tackle, but the grass certainly helping the Bulldogs out.
Yeah, different day. Cordham might have been able to stay up a little longer and make something happen, maybe get off a throw, but right as he cut back, lost his footing, slipped a little bit, and was brought down. So now a long 3rd and 23 for the Golden Hawks.
And on 3rd and 23, I feel like it's another tough call. If they wanted to just run it and burn some more clock or try to get that 3rd down, and with Cordham in the shotgun, it may just look like they're going to try it in the air. We'll see, though. Take it low, and he'll roll out right. Feel some pressure and make a deep pass. That one will be broken up, intended for Dua.
And that was good coverage there by Levi Eberhardt for Mediapolis, able to break that one up, bringing up a punt for the Golden Hawks.
So the campaign, though, on that drive successful, as the Golden Hawks were able to kill 4 minutes off the clock and also be able to kick from midfield, so to guarantee, pending a outstanding return, a very good field position for their defense.
So now back to return are Tristan Timmerman.
Oh, a high snap, but he will compose himself and get that one off in the air. He will pick that one up around the 25.
So Bulldogs here are going to have to score very fast if they're going to want any hope in coming back in the ball game. Only 5.5 left in the game, down 2 scores. Thinking we're going to see a lot of passing on this drive.
Yeah, you're going to see a bit of desperation here, and that's very dangerous for this Mid-Prairie defense because we saw it. This is a very explosive offense, and we've certainly seen Brown be able to get something going in the air when he has to. So, yeah, we're going to see at least 4 or 5 wide every play, and they're going to just try to get something going quick with only 5:24 left. Brown feels the pressure, a deep pass. That one overshot and intended deep midfield as you see him hobbling a little bit. That, number 5, Tristan Timmerman.
That seems to be Brown's problem tonight. He's just been overshooting his receivers. He's had some guys open, just hasn't been able to hit them. And another thing he said, you know, the sense of urgency could be a little dangerous for the Bulldogs. Looking at Brown's number on the season, he has a good amount of touchdowns, 11, but pair that with 10 picks.
So 5:18 left here on senior night. Brown snaps back and just over the head again there of Timmerman. Tall guy, but he can't bring those down.
Yeah, he's just going to have to take a little bit off of those throws. You know, he's throwing them on line. He's throwing them in the right area, just putting a little too much juice on them.
My apologies. That was Carlson on the attempt there. So after 2 quick incompletions, a 3rd and 10 on their own 25. Deep receivers for Brown, but he is eaten up and
Dua.
taken down in the backfield. Dua has been living in the backfield and reaps himself another sack.
And that's his 5th on the day. That's number 12 on the season for Levi Dua. Has just been everywhere in the backfield, wreaking havoc all night long.
Yeah, you talk about that. Dua, yeah, as you mentioned, coming in with 7, getting himself 5 on the night. He has just been destroying that line and finding some perfect routes to Brown. So really no other choice here. With 4th and 15, the ball on the 20, they're going to have to punt it here, and they will. And the reception is made here by Faisal, and he gets some breathing room, fights his way across the 50, and is down around the 40. Good return there.
Nice return by Faisal, able to get it into Bulldog territory and give the Golden Hawks some favorable field position to start off and try and put this one away.
Some good position, and Golden Hawks going to try to get some good runs here to see if they can ice this game. As a few first downs, pending some timeouts, can, if not end the game, really get it within a minute or 2. And we will see Mid-Prairie take a timeout. And we'll just go over game plan here, I guess, as Covenant wants to make sure everyone's on the same page as they look to just ice this ball game and earn that spot in the playoffs.
And coming into today's game, really expected to see some more scoring, 2 high-powered offense, a lot of playmakers on both sides of the ball. First quarter, nothing happened. Neither team moved the ball. Second quarter, Golden Hawks woke up, put 20 on the board. Bulldogs had that big pass play, bringing them down, able to punch that one in. Then third quarter, moving the ball a little bit, both sides, but no scores. In the fourth quarter, we've seen some more of that. Both teams able to move the ball a little bit, but not enough to put points on the board.
You mentioned that as really, I would describe that first quarter as a feeling out process. Both teams had a hard time getting their run game going, which would be assumed that was their strategy going into the game. And once the air game started working, the points started coming. But come the third and fourth, it's been more of, again, ground game focus for the Golden Hawks, and their pressure has been what really has cut off Brown. As Hallbaker will step to the sideline. Well, the flag that hits the field looks like a bit of an antsy line there, which leads to the first and 15.
12 men breaking the huddle.
12 men breaking the huddle is what will be the call there, as Hallbaker finally left. And the run will be over to Faisalt. He won't get much going, tackled in the backfield.
Nice tackle by Brady Fife there for the Bulldogs. Able to get around that corner and contain, not let anything happen. 4 minutes left in the game. You got to think the Bulldogs are still thinking they're in this ball game. Just a turnover away and a touchdown from making it a tight one.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'd have to assume that if the Bulldogs can keep that third down relatively far from maybe 3 or 4 yards that they'd expect to punt, you have to wonder how much time they'd have left as they just use a timeout.
Another thing to keep in mind here late in this ball game, each team with 2 timeouts remaining.
You mentioned that, so 2 timeouts for the Bulldogs in addition to these 2 plays here. I have to wonder how much time they get on the clock if they get the ball back after a stop here defensively. Faisal gets the ball, and he will try to get something going on the left side. And will be brought down around the 47.
Wyatt Moore on the tackle there. It's the clock ticking under 3:20 now.
Moore, as we talked about, a huge force defensively for the Bulldogs. He came in 3 sacks and 48 total tackles, 34 of those being solo tackles.
Yep. Coming into today's game, it was him and Zach Erickson leading that defensive force of the Bulldogs, tied for solo tackles. Adds another one to his tally on that one.
So we just are now under 3 as Mid-Prairie looks to just kill more clock here with man in motion and 1 back. Fakes to Hawbaker, but he'll give it to Faisal. And that'll lead us to a 4th down and a timeout here. So we will see the Bulldogs using their 2nd timeout. They have 1 more. And now it's time to talk shop. 2:46 left. And Brian Borison has to find himself to get on the scoreboard some way. The passing game has not worked so far, as there's just been an issue with pressure in the backfield. What can he and this team try to do that we might just see in this last 2:46?
The pressure has been a big deal with Brown getting to him, not giving him too much time to think, and has caused him to overthrow most of his passes tonight. So, I guess just go to the short pass game, maybe dumps, quick screens, even though Golden Hawks have been shutting down most of the screens. So some play action dumps, I think, might be the key. Let the defensive line kind of fall back a little bit and just throw right over them. Hope for some open room to run.
And with this drive, we'd always like to thank First Class Apparel and Federation Bank, as the punt will be off. And really nothing that Osborne could do, but watch that one go out of bounds. Also, we'd like to thank Radio Shack of Kelowna and Washington and Yachty's Ice Cream and Easy Go Sales, golf cart sales and service.
And now not much time left for the Bulldogs to make moves. They got 2:39 for 2 touchdowns. And at one point they did lead in this ball game. In the second quarter, after Mid-Prairie scored the first score of the game, the Bulldogs came right back with a score of their own, took the lead 7-6, but have been looking up at the Golden Hawks since then.
Yeah, and we saw in this half the Bulldogs able to try to get some first downs going, but they still could not translate that to points on the scoreboard. And now they're down to some of their last bullets here. Deep throw, that one intended for number 45, Brendan Tapp, but that very well could have been an interception.
Yeah, Blake Schwartz read that perfectly, made a jump at the ball, just couldn't hold on. But a nice play to break it up.
So this pass offense looking to get something going in the late effort. See how much pressure's coming now. Brown rolling out. That one deflected.
Levi Dua breaks it up. And just more backfield fun for Levi Dua.
Yeah, if it's not a sack, he certainly is still in his head as he was all over Brown there. Great job getting the way of that pass, and it's going to be another incompletion leading to a 3rd and 10. So 2:30 left on the clock. Ball remains on the 25, and you can only imagine that right now the Bulldogs are down to their last 2 bullets here. And they're back and rolling out. That one over to Buster, and he'll see what he can do off of the quick dump pass. As you mentioned, a good strategy for them as they fought and clawed their way to a probable first down. We'll see what the ruling is. Yeah, the chains are going to move. First down for the Bulldogs.
Nice job of Brown to keep his composure on that play. Dua again came just shooting off the right side. Looked like he was going to get his 6th sack of the day. Brown able to dump it off and get the first down.
Time not in the favor of Mediapolis, and a huge
Dua
sack there, and he has just been living in the backfield. Dua, another sack, and what else is new? He came in with 7. That's his 6th tonight.
Don't do me like that, Levi. Don't do it to me.
And just like that, 2 minutes, just under 2 minutes left. And Brown goes out a low pass, and really not too much that Say Softbird could do there as he dove out for that one. And now we are at 3rd down already.
And, you know, you got to think if Bulldogs don't score on this drive, this ball game's over.
Yeah, no question about that. With 1:47 left, I think we can definitely agree that the confidence in the running game will eat up time and certainly get some either a first down or just the yards that can burn the timeout left.
Dua again.
And once again,
baby,
look at that. He has tied his season stat of sacks, 7 tonight, 7 on the season. He has been a beast in the backfield.
He's just putting on a show. My goodness, nothing else you could say about it. He's all over the place.
And I think it's definitely safe to say he has been the leading factor in why a guy who came in with 1,131 yards and 596 rushing yards has not been able to get comfortable. He has been just eating tonight.
Yeah, coming off both sides of the football, whether he's on the left side or the right side, this offensive line of the Bulldogs has not been able to figure him out, not been able to get a guy on him that could stop him. And he has just been eating up the quarterback all day long.
So with this timeout, it's 4th and 25, and it's going to be tough for the Bulldogs. I mean, we mentioned that if there's going to be some way this team gets a huge gain of yards, it usually has to require some time in the backfield. But Dua has just been destroying the line, finding his way on the blitz, and really keeping a guy who is a very potent leader offensively uncomfortable throughout every quarter of tonight's action.
And we've seen him just be a force all season long, but tonight has been something else. He's just really feeling it. Just must be seeing the gaps or something. Just, you know, predicting the snap. I don't know what it is, but he's been back there as soon as the ball is.
Dua may be the one who gets the sacks, but keep in mind this is a whole blitz team that's just found a way to kind of just go all around that line and really just make Brown sweat the entire night. So their last bullet, 4th and 25 with 1:13 left. It is going over to Timmerman, and he gets hit too. He gets laid out, and with that, an emphatic exclamation point to send this one to a probable Golden Hawks victory.
Yeah, Bulldogs there just trying the hook and ladder, a little schoolyard fun, trying to pitch their way to a touchdown. Cordum reads it perfectly, takes him out by his legs. And with a minute left, it looks like the Golden Hawks are going to advance to 7-2 and take that 3 spot in two-way football.
And once again, as we take this time out, we would like to thank First Class Apparel, Federation Bank, Radio Shack of Kelowna and Washington, and Yachty's Ice Cream and Easy Go Golf Cart Sales and Service on what's been an incredible year here on Wellman Access TV. And let's talk about just senior night and the seniors that have certainly showed up for the Golden Hawks. I mean, I think it goes certainly without saying that Hawbaker had a great game. At that exact same time, you can't forget Schwartz, who has been killing it, and not necessarily a senior. Let's just go to Dua and the night he's been having.
Yeah, Levi Dua, I mean, second in their tackling list coming into the game. He had 25 tackles. He had 7 sacks on the season before tonight, and he's got 8 tonight in the game. Just really unbelievable football being played by Levi Dua.
You know, a great defensive effort that really has held a more than potent offense to only 1 touchdown and only a couple conversions here, as I think we're just going to see a knee here. Yep, and that'll be about it. As a couple more knees should do the trick. And as you mentioned, send this team to that 3rd seed in 7-2. This is a program we mentioned, a very hard year last year, and was able to bounce back and get themselves 7 impressive wins. A huge season for Kavanaugh and this program.
And as they knee down this football here on senior night to secure the win, why don't we just go through all the seniors that contributed to this team this season. Ryan Cordum, Alex Volovchek, Blake Schwartz, Carson Dua, Hogan Frash, Nolan Faisal, Paul Hawbaker, Cameron Tolander, Logan Bean, David Flidung, Caleb Runquist, Jacob Slaubaugh, Nick Tu, and Rhett Leonard. Just some great seniors put in the work this year, and it showed as they finished the season 7-2, and will be heading into the playoffs with that number 3 spot.
So we mentioned a series of close games between these two teams. This one not in the tradition of the last few games, as Mid-Prairie finds a way to win by 13 on an impressive second quarter, and a dominant senior night by, as you mentioned, a great group of seniors that this program will certainly miss. On to the playoffs for the Golden Hawks. Before we send them off, though, we'll take a quick break and meet you back here with the post game. Once again, your final score, 27 in favor of the Golden Hawks. And stay tuned, because after this break on Wellman Access TV, we'll hit you with the player of the game, brought to you by Freeman Foods, and some final game numbers. And a group of happy Golden Hawks meet around the 30 to discuss that victory, as we are here at the post game to break apart that 7th win for Mid-Prairie as they earn that 3rd seed in the playoffs. So I think we should go into our Freeman Foods player of the game, and although there are some worthy candidates, we saw Schwartz with a great first half, I think it's safe to say there's a certain defender who, without question, will get that award.
Yeah, Levi Dua just all over the place, applying pressure, able to keep Brown off his game. You know, coming into the game, Arthur Brown was a guy that could do it on the ground and through the air, and the pressure today by Levi Dua just erased everything that Brown could do, and he was getting sacks, deflecting passes, really just all over the place.
And we talked about going into this game that both Mid-Prairie and the Bulldogs would try to earn it on the ground. And although that didn't work in the first half, can you just talk about the success that Mid-Prairie found through the air in that second quarter?
Yeah, going back to the second quarter, when it looked like neither team was able to get anything going offensively, Ryan Cordum woke up. He was able to hit Blake Schwartz for some big gains, and the really big one was the pitch to Faisal, where Faisal was able to hit Schwartz for a huge gain, setting up a touchdown, and 162 passing yards on the day for Mid-Prairie. And just a nice game for Cordum, 5 for 10. Only 5 completions, but 116 yards off those 5 completions.
And you mentioned the dominance of this offense from Mediapolis, as they talk about guys that have 5 guys that are over 100 on the ground, and of course you have Brown. So what did this defense from Mid-Prairie do to really handle a very potent offense?
Well, they won the push at the line, and that was huge. We talked about that before the game started, that this was going to be a game where whichever line won was going to win the game. And off 21 carries for Mediapolis, only 24 yards. So contain was what Mid-Prairie was able to do all night.
And before we have our final send-off for the season, I want to quick thank all the sponsors that have helped us out throughout a great 2015 campaign. Hills Bank and Trust Company, Yachty's Hardware, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company, Wellman Cooperative Telephone Association, First Class Apparel, Federation Bank, Radio Shack of Kelowna and Washington, Yachty's Ice Cream and Easy Go Golf Cart Sales and Service, Home Gas, Wellman Advance, and Wellman Auto. And at that same time, we have to thank our Boston cameraman, Larry Thurman, not only for the great job, but come on, that chili he made was delicious.
It was very good chili. I had to get myself some seconds at halftime, and it was on my mind the rest of the game.
So for Dan, this is Alec, thanking you guys for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed a great 2015 season, and let's wish the Golden Hawks the best of luck as they go on to the playoffs. Once again, final score 27 in favor of Mid-Prairie. They are now in the 3rd seed, and we'll see what they can do in the offseason, or the postseason, rather. Once again, thank you. This is Alec and Dan signing off.
The station